Hello there, and welcome to the Impact Zone podcast. We're here again to talk more TNA wrestling shenanigans. This is the review for the 11th of April and preview of the 18th of April. So, there was something big that was on this show that we'll get to in a minute, but there is a picture here of these two monsters, and we'll be talking about their match as well. 9 nights away from Rebellion, guys. BTW will also be doing another look at the updated Rebellion card. I think this is going to probably be the last look before we get the full card. So then we'll go through the full card and have a proper full look at what is happening at Rebellion, probably the day, a couple of days before or the day before. But yes, all new Impact this week. Started out with a big brawl between the Walking Weapon and Alex Hammerstone. It sort of settled down a little bit with Tommy Dreamer coming out and saying, hey, I'm going to say a few words, and saying, hey, I brought you in here. I was the one who, thought that you should be here, but you should be doing this the right way. You're doing it the wrong way, etc., etc. So, buckle up, come on, you two are going to fight, and you two are going to, settle this at Rebellion. So, come on, we've got the rest of the show to do, let's go. And, Hammerstone sort of, yeah, all right. But then as Dream was turning away, Hammerstone got him in the torture rack, and then, well, things went from there. And Josh Alexander said, hey, that match we're having, let's make it last man standing. So, yes, I felt like they really needed a stipulation. It is tough. It was tough on this card too, because there's so much else on this card that, you go, dude, what else is there? Honestly, what else could you have done? You could pull out of your hat to have these guys do. It was insane. Highlights here of the brawl at the start of the show of Hammerstone putting Dreamer in the torture rack. And that. So yeah, we're going to see that, and I'm going to say a bit more about it, I guess. I don't think it really changes the outcome of the match per se, but I guess it like I said, they needed a stipulation, because it's just dude, you can't not have a stipulation between these two. That makes no sense. But anyway, we will talk more about it as we go along. Crazy Steve defended his digital media title against Laredo Kid, and I didn't think much. Again, when I thought Sacrifice, I didn't think that there would be much between that. I didn't think there would be much here. I think that they set up some interesting things that they could kind of go back to, and it did kind of feel well, they're trying to set some stuff up here, and they're trying to tell a longer, drawn out story of some description with the Raider Kid and all that. I'm not sure that they've got a good point at which, especially soon, to kind of culminate that story. And I don't know how you kind of do that. It's going to be a really tough set of circumstances to actually culminate this. I felt like Crazy Steve was going to probably win. I thought maybe he would pull more shenanigans, I guess, or whatever. But this was very, very good match, certainly, as well. But it's certainly tough when there's so many other matches on a card, and it's the opening match. You got to get people going again, but still, the brawl at the start kind of got people going, I think, and then you get this, and it was certainly good, but yeah, it certainly left you wanting more, which is good in some ways. But again, it's like, well, what's the payoff to this? Like I don't know, dude. Is Laredo, is it worth dropping the title from Steve to Laredo? Like, that's what I mean. Like, and when? Like, that could be all right, and that could make some sense if you give it the right venue and the right timing and the right, everything sort of lines up right. I don't think we just witnessed, Cody finish the story, like like this is a story. You want people to finish the story in the right way. Like, you don't want to just have somebody finish the story and people go, "Oh, okay." You want people to be like, "Holy shit!" Like, you want people to go going nuts. So I really think they should do it in Mexico if they're gonna do it, like, or at least near Mexico, like New Mexico, Texas, like something like that, on the border somewhere, like, so that again it makes it feel like, yeah, we're doing that, like it makes sense, and whatnot. So yeah, it's Crazy Steve here winning with the roll up pin. He went for the next snap, but he went for the mask instead. But that kind of pissed Laredo off. But yeah, very, very interesting to see where because again, like, I felt like they should have been probably on Rebellion, or at least on the pre-show of Rebellion or something. I don't know, dude. But yeah, and the same with like PCO versus Khan. I felt this should have probably just been on Rebellion, or maybe, like, it's tough again. It's so tough. There's so much stuff going on, and it's like, dude, what are you going to put on the pre-show? What are we going to put on the pre-show? Got no clue. Like, it's just too much. So yeah, but you saw highlights of PCO and Khan warming up for the Monsters Ball match. TNA returns to Cicero Stadium for Against All Odds in Chicago. For June the 15th and 14th and 15th, sorry. Tickets are going on sale tomorrow. We've got to kind of focus on Rebellion for right now. That's cool to know, and I think it's kind of like weird that they announced this here. Like, they should have probably announced this on Rebellion, but whatever, that's fine. Like, again, if they're just like announcing this, then maybe they'll announce Slammiversary, which I felt like they should probably do, or at least maybe, like, I don't know, maybe Bound for Glory, I don't know, as well. But still, it is one of those things, and I can't wait for anything and everything. So it's one of those things. Time Machine had a promo backstage saying, "Hey, we're better together. Let's get back together. Get the band back together. Let's get the band back together." So they seem like they're on better terms. ABC versus First Class. I felt like, and I keep going with this with Swan as well, which is kind of interesting that this is the match that kind of, brings it up as well, because I didn't want to see Swan turn heel. Neither do I want to see Ace or Bay turn heel, really, but I kind of feel like if I gotta emphasize the if they're gonna break up, one of them's gonna have to turn heel. And I just kind of don't want to see that. I kind of want to see both these guys just kind of, like, get opportunities. Like, both of these guys are amazing. Like, and I don't know. It is tough because again, I just didn't want to see Swan as a heel. He did some good stuff in this match. It annoys me more that I just go, oh man, I don't care. I just want to see him being cool and charismatic and whatnot. He is cool and charismatic in this role as well, but I don't know. I don't know. That's just what I wanted to, like, I was so used to. I was happy with it. It was cool, like, whatever. I don't know, dude. Like, and the same with Ace and B. Like, if they're going to break up, which it kind of felt like there's that tension, it feels like they're less relevant now than they've ever been. And it feels like, well, they kind of want to get them into the singles divisions, but it's sort of tough. So, but I want to see them both as good guys, good baby faces. They need more baby faces, honestly. So I don't see them, either one of them, being a heel, because they just need too many goddamn heels on the roster anyway. But I did think this is tough because it's like, well, where are you at with like what's going on for Dollar and for Rich? They need to look like they can win. So it's tough. And then you've got ABC who need to rebound. In the end, like, I don't know. It's a tough match to kind of call and say, hey, who should win, or what do you think? Who, as a call. But I don't know. I felt like, again, like, they actually haven't got their tag team title rematch. That's where I think that the button would be on. That they needed to win to get back to that title rematch. If they lose, it feels like, man, well, they're not getting back to that title rematch. So that would make more sense in that regard. So I feel like, that Ace and Bay not winning, which they didn't win, kind of sent that message that they're probably not getting that tag team rematch, or that it's going to be an irrelevant tag team rematch at the best. So we're going to have to wait and see about that. I think, it does start to feel like, well, you're starting to already tell that story of them not getting their rematch because, well, they're already, sort of losing. So it's like, well, where do they go from there? They got to have something to go from there. But it does work for AJ and Swan, sort of, I guess. But it's also tough because, again, I feel like the whole idea here was for Rich to be, under Dollar's wing and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, as a tag team? Wait, what? I don't know. But I guess they just need more tag teams. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. But highlight here of Dollar neutralizing the art of finesse. Oh, actually, it was Swan not neutralizing the art of finesse. Yeah. He also neutralized the 1-2 sweet near the end, and that was him able to capitalize on a distraction from Dollar as well to get a roll-up pin and holding the tights. As it went, as they were sort of celebrating in the ring, Joe Hendry came out and said, hey, I gave you a chance to explain what you did, Rich, and now it's going to be you and me at Rebellion. So we're going to be talking a lot more about it again at the thing that we're going to do about Rebellion in a few moments here on the channel. It might be already up for you guys, so if you want to go check that out, it should be perhaps on and whatnot. Ash by Elegance backstage was saying, hey, Steph DeLander replaced me and she won, so technically speaking, I won because she was in my place. I would have won, so that title match should be mine. All of this stuff. But Santino Marella, he kind of got out of there to say, hey, well, that's cool, but I'm not dealing with this right now. I've got other things to deal with. Which, I kind of feel like it's too early. It's just too early. If she goes into a title match, she's probably losing. So it's like, well, same with like Steph Delander, but still, that is another thing. Like, it's another thing for somebody who's on the roster and going to be here next month and the month after, etc. Blah blah blah. To lose like that, it's going to be tough to really emphasize that whole thing of, well, what now? Like, where now? Who now? Like that kind of thing. If you've already lost in like the first month, it's like, wow, we burned through that really quickly when we should have like gave it more time. We should have, yes, we should be doing this sort of stuff where it's sort of like, hey, yeah, I feel like I got screwed over, and she's using her character work and whatnot and all of that sort of stuff to, do that heel work, get that heat, blah, 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 over a few weeks, etc., so that you can build it up. Again, you're building it up weeks and weeks, months and months, or whatever it is. Again, so that when you do it, people go, oh, well, she's got all this heat, she's got all this momentum, blah, 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 so that it feels like, oh, she might win. We don't know. Like, you don't want people to be like, oh, man, she's already challenging in her, like, first couple of weeks. What? Get out of here. Like, she's not winning then, obviously. So, yeah. This is it, boys and girls. Powertown Wrestling figures. TNA action, TNA's first figures in about a decade. And like, I know I'm not the biggest like merchandise person or whatever. I'm not the Major Wrestling Figures podcast over here, guys. Okay, I don't have Matt Cardona or whatever Brian Myers here to talk about figures and whatnot. And I'm not a big figures person myself. I don't have any figures, but these look really, really cool. And I'm not trying to shill for them or whatever or anything like that. I'm not telling you guys to buy any if you want to buy any, but hey, if you want to buy some, hey, they're here and they exist. I know it took them a long time, but like, and obviously we don't know yet 100% like what the actual quality is going to be when they actually come out onto the market or whatever. But the promo picture that they've shown, well, it's just a little bit spicy, so I'm kind of into these. These look really good, and I think that the wait was worth it-ish. I think, like, if you're getting good quality merchandise like this to sell to the fans, that, again, quality is the thing. You don't want to just put anything out there, and I know sometimes people say that, oh, you put anything. Yes, I do, to an extent, but I'm a busy man right now, so I can't do everything that I need to do every single time, which is one of those problems. And again, I'm one dude, okay? I'm one dude, and I'm doing everything myself, so you have to cut me some slack sometimes, okay? And we're just sort of starting out, so yeah. Button in that for now. But anyway, I'm not going to go on a rant for now about this. But again, like, I kind of want to know, like, is this all of them? I'm assuming it is all of them, but I don't know. Because again, like, there's certainly a lot of great TNA wrestlers that they could put in there. I think Jordan is obviously great to put in there. Moose, the champ, and Josh and Eddie. Like, I don't know who. Like, I'd love to see a Hammerstone one. Like, I want to talk more about Hammerstone, but man, I'm going to talk about more of him more. X Division champion Mustafa Ali had a bit of a promo backstage with the Grizzled Young Vance about Jake something. Jake something overheard or came into it and said, "Hey, time's a ticking. I'll see you, bitch," basically. But then Ali said, well, you can face one of my guys. Contract signing between Jordan Grace and Steph Delander. Like I said, I thought, like, the numbers game would play a role in, like, Jordan going through the table. And it did. But the work that they did up to that to like get there was great. Like I thought this would be, paint by numbers and just like da 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 da. But no, they worked hard to get that to that spot. And like the promos that they had back and forth in this were pretty good. I think that they needed a little bit more. But I'm pretty sure they were a little bit lax for time on this one. But it's always hard to go for the throat with everything. I think that that's one of the things that you need to do. You really need to go for the throat with everything. You can't just they went for some stuff here, but they especially Jordan did. But I think getting it more personal. It needs to be more personal. Like Jordan saying, "I've already beaten you, bitch," and I've already beaten you, bitch, too. So. But still, it's like, and I've already beaten your girlfriend and whatever and all this. So, yeah, it's like, that's pretty personal to an extent. Like, I've already beaten you, bitches. So, get out of here. But, I never felt like Steph got personal enough. I think, it's like, this is about the title, but you need to make it personal. Like, this isn't just about the title, bitch, because, no, I'm the strongest bitch, her whole thing is, she's a powerhouse, blah, 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 and the whole thing between these two is that they're both powerhouses, so she needs to be like, bitch, I'm stronger than you, or, I bet you can't even deadlift, 100 pounds, or whatever, with those bitch arms, or whatever, you need to make it more, I think. But it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't I think some of the promo wasn't personal enough. You can see some of the highlights of the shots fired between these two, and I think mostly Jordan got most of them. But that's me. And you see the highlight of Matt Cardona and Steph putting Jordan through the table and leaving her lying. Head of Rebellion standing over with the title. Marsha was backstage cutting another promo, and she got interrupted by Eddie Edwards, Alicia, and Brian Myers. So, again, saying, hey, what about that tag team titles? It's kind of the weirdest position that she's in. I honestly don't know what's going on here. I feel like they should just be like, let's do it. Either do it or don't. Yes, again, you're always talking about story progression and whatnot and this sort of thing. This is a little bit of story progression, I guess. Not much, but again, it sort of progresses it to saying, well, what's going on with it? Decide, emphatically, this is what we're doing. That's it. We're doing it. But yeah. Jonathan Gresham had another promo or whatever promo video. This one's part 2, Truth, and this one was pretty interesting about his masks. He has 3 masks: one that he shows to the world, one that he shows only to his close friends and family, and the one that he hasn't shown to anyone. I think in society, this is one of those things that a lot of people kind of relate to. We kind of don't really get to show who we're all really about sometimes to everyone, and you've kind of got to wear this defensive mask. And sometimes when you've got friends and family, you can kind of wear another mask, but you still got to kind of have a certain level of pushback and whatnot, because you can't be your ultimate true self, because I don't know, you're still a bit more relaxed in it, but you're still holding that up, I think. So it is interesting, but again, I'm just now being how many of these promos is gonna things is gonna be there, and you can't just do this. You need to and for too long, we all remember Veer Mahaman is coming and whatnot and all this sort of stuff. A lot of things. You need to show this stuff and then say, okay, right, when is he coming back? What's he going to do when he comes back? What's his, who's he working with? Where's that going? Why? So, yeah. I know that they know that, but, in us watching it, we don't know that. We've got to see it. We've got to hope that, they make the right calls and that. I know people will respect it, but, it needs to make some sense. And the obvious answer is Speedball Mike Bailey, but I almost feel like you need to work up to that. Plus, he's in a tag team, so I don't really know what you're going to do there. So, I don't know. Moose took on Trent Seven. I was pretty sure that Moose was winning this, and he did. And this match wasn't even that amazing, I don't think. Not it wasn't bad, but I think they really ran out of time on this show because there was a lot of stuff going on in this show, and to have so many especially the Monsters Bowl, I think that took up a lot of the end of the show, and yeah, and I think that ate into everyone else's time that they kind of had for matches, especially. So you don't want a show to drag on, like we've said before. This show never dragged on, but you want something to have good context. You want something to be, this thing that it has a lot of substance. I don't think this had that. It didn't really have that much substance. It wasn't I don't want to say that it didn't have any. I don't want to say that because it certainly did. But it just really wasn't given enough time to really get long enough and get dramatic enough and get enough stuff in there for it to feel like it really maybe should have done or could have done, just in this context. Again, but it's fine. Moose gets another win. He needs that. He's going into a big match, and he had a dominant win. So again, and he's kind of had a match against somebody that's he's kind of been, or his teammates are kind of feuding with. So again, helps build up the whole unit. Yeah. Here's the highlight of Moose winning with the spear. And after the match, Mike Bailey falls a victim to the system. But Time Machine came out for the save. So it looks like we're going to have something between... after this, we saw that, Shelley Sabin are going to take on the system next week. That's, I think, the Motor City Machine Guns last match in TNA. So I'll be sure to be tuning into that one because it is probably going to be either the main event or at least one of the top matches on the card anyway, and one of the best matches. So again, and you just want to see that. James Drake took on with Zach Gibson took on Jake something. This was virtually just a squash match, but Drake got some offense in with thanks to distractions and a little bit of help with Zach Gibson on the outside. But really, this was I don't want to say it was a complete squash because James Drake did do some stuff in there and did do some good stuff in there that was pretty smart of him and whatnot to sort of take down Jake. But this was really a showing of what Jake's all about, and that After the match, Mustafa Ali came out with some protesters protesting against Jake Something. And Jake Something saw over the ropes to take all of them out, and then took Mustafa Ali into the ring, but he got jumped by the GYV and got the grit your teeth for his troubles. And they left him laying. We're going to talk more about what's happening next week just after we talk about the Monsters Ball. This was good. The whole match was very good, I think. Now, I talked a lot about who I think should win, and, well, that person didn't win. So I'm kind of like this, despite how good the match was, despite how good the fight was, despite everything that they did in this fight, I think, again, when you leave people with this is what the result, no matter what the result is, if it's a result that some people don't want, it's like, I know that's it's always very divisive because some people or a lot of people wanted Cody to win, but a lot of people also didn't want Cody to win. A lot of people wanted the Tribal Chief to, keep going and keep that going and keep the thing going. But again, he's still got that other title, so again, he can still keep that going, and that's actually the title he has held for the most days. So, there is that, and they just need more people on the active roster again with prestigious titles or prestigious positions to sort of help build out the roster and help do the whole building of new superstars and whatnot. But anyway, that relates again to this. I don't know. It's tough to say that you didn't build Khan into a new sort of star in some ways, because he did shine a lot through in this match despite losing. But I think that when they were saying a lot of this on commentary that this will be the last match, I don't think it. Now I feel like it shouldn't be the last match. I feel like Khan should have won. I like PCO, but what are you going to do with PCO? I don't know. I really don't. I don't see where this was going for PCO. In my opinion, it just can't go anywhere. It has nowhere to go for him. He has nothing left to prove. He has done pretty much everything there is to do in this business, and I don't see the point in him continuing on to win like in this regard. He should have lost. Khan should have won, and Khan should have started to cement himself as the baddest man in TNA, and I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I'm trying to be, I guess, fair. I don't know. I'm trying to weigh it up from a viewer's perspective or from a perspective of, all right, so we made PCO win. Now what do we do with PCO? Again, yes, as I said, we need more baby faces, and PCO is a baby face, but his road, whatever he's done, everything that he's been in, if he has one more title match or something at some point, in the next few months, whatever, sure, okay, and then he retires. Cool, whatever. But on the way out, in my opinion, again, he needs to put more than just Moose or whoever, which I think it would be, over. He needs to put someone like Khan over. He needs to put, other people that have more potential to be upper mid card to, main event guys up there. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Hammerstone, actually, now that I'm just thinking about it. Like, I just happened to think about it, but PCO emerges victorious from the Monsters Ball. Boo earns. I was saying boo earns. Anyway, a new episode of Immersed featuring Nick Nemeth versus Steve Macklin will premiere on the 17th of April on TNA Plus and YouTube. I'm pretty interested in that. I would actually like again, they haven't done a lot of these, but I would like to see them do more of these. This is a good one. I kind of halfway wanted them to do one with Sabin and Macklin, because they had a really good match, and I think Sabin versus Macklin was way better than Nemeth versus Shelley. I don't know, guys. I think it was just better. But anyway, last man standing added to the Josh Alexander match. So we'll talk more about that when we talk more about Rebellion, which I'll be doing very soon, but you guys probably will be able to see it already on the channel. But just before Rebellion, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards versus the Motor City Machine Guns. We already sort of talked a little bit about that. Hammerstone will be action. We'll hear from Nick Nemeth and a lot more. So one thing here that I'm going to hone in, and I sort of said it, I think last week, was Hammerstone in action. I'm pretty sure that this is the tag team match with him and Tasha Steelz versus Jordan Grace and Josh Alexander. That doesn't make a whole bunch of sense, but because I feel like it should be Steph DeLander, but it's just me because they're in the title match, so that would make more sense, but whatever. Still, that was what I believe I saw would be advertised. Again, that's actually the one that's a little bit more tough to say this is the way it should go, this is who should win. I feel like Hammerstone's team should win, probably, and I feel like almost Hammerstone should pin Josh Alexander somehow, some way, through shenanigans and whatnot, so that somehow knock him down, knock him out, and then put him in the torture rack, and then the referee has to call for the bell because he's unconscious, effectively, in the torture rack. That would be the best way, I think. But like, I don't know whether you're going to get to do that. Maybe just like by pinfall, that'll do it. Still, but still, I feel like that should be the way that you should go with it. That Hammerstone should somehow beat or pin or submit, whatever, Alexander, so that you've got that little bit of extra heat for their match and a little bit more drama for their match, because otherwise it's sort of, it feels like it's an obvious win for Josh. So you want people to be kind of a little bit more on the edge of their seat, being like, is Hammerstone actually going to win? Is he going to actually win somehow or whatever, So, yeah, you don't want to just, make people go, oh, yeah, we know who's winning or whatever. We don't, once you don't know who's going to win, that's when it's, people are like, oh, man, I can't wait to see this because I don't know who's going to win. If you know who's winning, you're kind of like, yeah, that guy's going to win, isn't he? So I'm not really tuning in. Not very interesting because it's like, oh, yeah, pretty predictable or whatever. But still, it is what it is. Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards versus Motor City Machine Guns. As I said, this is probably their last match in TNA. This will, at least for now, this will be pretty special. But, yeah, it's obvious who's winning that. Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. They are winning. Come on, guys. Come on. But I feel like that could be maybe the main event, but no, could be. You kind of want to see, the Motor City Machine Guns pull it out. But it's good. It'll be good for Myers and Edwards, to get that extra bit of a rub, going into Rebellion and, whatnot, with, momentum on their side and sort of retiring one of the best teams ever, or sort of semi-retiring one of the best teams ever. So, yeah. But that is all for next week. And as I said, the Rebellion update should be on the channel now. So if you guys would like to, you should go and check that out, as I've sort of said before. But I hope you've enjoyed this one. And I hope you will join me again in another one.